Hello children, this is the second video for our 10th chapter, that is motion and measurement of distances. In this video we are going to discuss different types of motions. First, let's see rectilinear motion. Rectilinear motion means motion in a straight line. So if an object is moving in a straight line, that motion will be said to be rectilinear motion, or the object is said to be in rectilinear motion. For example, sprinters in 100-meter race. If an athlete is there and running on a 100-meter race, then he will run in a straight line. Or cars moving on straight road, they will be moving in a straight line. Arrow which has left the bow, a bullet fired from a gun, a stone. If you take a stone and get it up here, then you leave it. It will fall into the ground, fall onto the ground in a straight line. So these are some examples of rectilinear motion where the athlete, the stone, the arrow and the fired bullet, they all move in a straight line. Next is circular motion. From the name itself, I think you can understand. Circular motion is that motion where a particle moves in a circular path. For example, the blades of a fan or the hands of a clock. Here you see, these blades of the fan will move in only a circular path. They will keep on moving like this in a circle. They will keep on moving. The hands of the clock also will move in a circle. So these are some examples of circular motion. You can take the revolution of planets also. That is also one type of motion. Next is periodic motion. Periodic motions are those motions where an object repeats its motion in a fixed interval of time. That means after a certain period of time, the motion will be repeated again and again. For example, pendulum. If you have seen pendulum in a clock, it is like this. So this will be the bob which will move in this direction, will again come back, then again go back in that direction. So it will give you a repeated motion. This is periodic motion in your pendulum. Next is strings of guitar. The strings of guitar, if you will pluck it or if you will pull it and leave it, you will see it shows a vibrating motion. It is the same motion is repeating again and again. Same goes with the membrane of tabla. If you will hit on the membrane of the tabla, this is the membrane of the tabla. If you will hit it and just touch it gently, you will feel the membrane moving or vibrating. So these are some examples of periodic motion. One more example you can take is the motion of the swing. A child, if sits on a swing and plays, you will see the motion of the swing goes up, back, then again up, down, then back up. So this motion is repeated again and again. These are examples of periodic motion. Next is rotational motion. Rotational motion is that motion where a particle rotates about a fixed point. Here you should remember that the circular motion and rotational motion are different. In circular motion, the motion of the blade is like this, but in rotational motion, it will rotate on itself in the axis. Here, one more example you can take for circular motion. Tie a stone with a rope and you just swing your arm around like this. Then what will happen? This rock will also move in a circular motion. But this is the path. It has nothing to do with this center. It is the path which matters in the circular motion. The path is circular. But here the rotation takes place about an axis which is inside the object itself. Here, this center is outside the object. This is the object, but the path it is following, the center of the path is here. It is away from the out of the object. But in rotational motion, you will always find that the center about which rotation is taking place will be inside the object. For example, a wheel. So this is the center for the spokes of the wheel, and if the wheel rotates, it may not move forward or it may move forward, but you will always see the spokes of the wheel will always rotate around its middle point, which is called axis. Then next is one more example. You can take rotation of the earth. If this is the earth, for example, if this is sun and this is the earth, this is revolution, where the earth is revolving around the sun. It is moving, or just we can say moving around the sun, but the earth rotates on its own also. With the help of an imaginary line, you can imagine that if this is the earth, one imaginary line you see, then the earth rotates about it also. Imaginary line will be through the center of the earth, inside the earth we can say, and the earth is rotating in that axis. So rotation of the earth is another example for rotational motion. Next is random motion. Random motion is unpredictable. That means you cannot predict in which direction the motion will take place. It may go in any direction. Some examples I have written: a flying kite, flying bees, birds, etc. So if you will fly a kite in the sky, you cannot predict its motion. You cannot say that it is only fly in this direction or that direction. Whichever way the wind will come, it will move or change the direction of the kite. Then in the case of flying bees or birds, they will fly around and can go in any direction, and you cannot predict it. One at a time they are going in this direction, next moment they can turn this way, then they can turn this way. Swimming of the fish also, they are unpredictable. They can make any turn. Then you can take some marbles in your hand, just throw them on the ground. While falling, they will be in rectilinear motion, but after striking or colliding on the ground, they can go anywhere. You cannot predict which marble will go in which direction. So these are some examples. Or dust you take and just blow on it, it will fly and it will spread in the air. Then you cannot predict which direction they will fall or in which direction they are moving. So unpredictable motions are called random motions. These are some of the types of motions we have discussed. Rectilinear, that is motion in a straight line. Circular motion, motion in a circular path. Then periodic motion, motion that repeats itself again and again after a fixed interval of time. Rotational motion that moves around a fixed point in the space. Then random motion, which is unpredictable type of motion. So these are some types of motions. I hope that you have understood the chapter thoroughly. For a better understanding, you should go through your textbook. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you.